Good evening. I'm going to break up the party here, or maybe get the party started. Hey, is this a great venue? Everybody happy to be here? Yeah, good stuff. I want to, first of all, my name's Ted Davies. I'm the industry chair for ACT IAC. I'm happy to be here and welcome everybody to our 15th annual Excellence.gov Awards. We do hold this every year. For those of you that have not been here before, we look forward to seeing you in the future. And for all of you folks that are new here, we're really happy that you joined us this evening. Just a quick intro. ACT IAC is a not-for-profit organization. It's really got a very simple mission. And the simple mission is we want to help advance government. And oftentimes in this town, we celebrate, we publicize things that don't go well, to wit, the Washington Post this morning. But I would say that this is a great evening where we can celebrate successes that are happening in the government. For those of you that have not been involved with ACT IAC before, everything we do involves government and industry working together. We have three main things we focus on: education, action, and collaboration. If you want to know more about ACT IAC, please go to our website, actiac.org. You would become part of what are about 10,000 people that engage with one of our events or one of our programs every single year, and many of those government, many across the industry. So we're very excited about that. So we're here tonight to recognize some successes in government. We would not be able to do that without the help of our sponsors. We had three levels of sponsors this year. First, our Gigabyte sponsors, which are coming up on the screen. First, Hewlett-Packard. Second, AT&T, Accenture, Hitachi Consulting, and CenturyLink. The Megabyte sponsors for us this year are CDWG, CSC, Dell, Deloitte, Devis, Edwards Project Solutions, Evolver, Hughes, Leapfrog Solutions, Lockheed Martin, Empowered Strategies, Microsoft, National Government Services, Net Impact Strategies, and Noblus. And finally, our gold sponsor, OnPoint. I want to now introduce our chairs. We have, as always, a government and industry chair for each one of our events today. I'd like to invite Karen Mayar and Brian Baker. Mike's going in and out. Come on out, guys.
I want to thank. Hi, everybody. I want to thank Ted. Good evening, and welcome to ACT IAC's 15th Annual Excellence.gov Awards Gala. We're excited about this year's finalists and the program planned for this evening.
Indeed, it was quite a journey to get here. The whole process plays out over several months, 4 to 6 months to be exact, from the time of nomination to the time we do all of the judging. We had, for the 70-plus nominations, roughly 30 judges, 40-plus judges rather, that gave their time and talent to the judging process. So if you were one of the volunteer judges for this evening's event, I'm going to ask you to stand and be recognized by those in the room.
I just want to thank you all for your support in helping us select the best in government. We'd now like to introduce our moderator for this evening's event. He is no stranger to the ACT IAC community. Francis Rose has a very distinguished 25-year broadcasting career, to include stops at America's leading broadcasters. These include Federal News Radio, ABC News, CBS Radio, and Westwood One. Please join me in welcoming Francis Rose to the stage.
Thank you all very much for coming tonight, and Ken Allen of ACT IAC, thanks for your team. Thanks to your team for inviting me here tonight. I just want to say quickly that what Ted said is the reason that I do what I've done for the last 10 years, and that is the federal government does a lot of things and does a lot of things very well, and sadly there are not many people in my business who want to focus on those things. They want to focus on what the Washington Post focused on today, what people dealt with healthcare.gov and some of the other problems. It's a terrific community that we're all a part of, and so it is great to be able to come and recognize some of the terrific things that are going on at agencies across government and that they're doing in conjunction with their partners in industry. It is my pleasure to introduce the person who makes ACT IAC happen, who makes it work and keeps his colleagues and his team on point to make terrific events like this happen. The leader of ACT IAC, Ken Allen. Thank you very much for having me, Ken.
I'd like to join and the others in welcoming you to the Excellence.gov Awards. As Ted said, ACT IAC is all about government-industry collaboration, and those of you who are the finalists know what it's like, because I suspect almost every program had both industry and government working together to achieve a better government. So you already know what it's like. Come join ACT IAC and help share that with other folks in our community. Second thing I want to note is that I talked to a couple of the judges, and they said it was incredibly difficult making the decisions this year. There were so many outstanding programs that picking the top 30 was incredibly difficult. So every one of you that's here tonight is already a winner, not just in the Excellence.gov, but in the contributions that you've made to our citizens each and every day. So it's my honor tonight, I get to introduce our keynote speaker. And I had the chance to meet her about 3 or 4 years ago when she moved to GSA. It started with a cup of coffee and just sort of getting to know one another. She didn't know much about ACT IAC. We didn't know much about her, but we had a nice conversation. Since then, we've had a lot of opportunities to work with Ann Rung. One of the things I've learned is her commitment to collaboration and to working together. She has been and is a strong proponent of a very vibrant government industry communication and collaboration strategy. And she has been a very active supporter of ACT IAC. In fact, I would like to think that it was her engagement in ACT IAC that it got her appointed to her current position. However, since I didn't have the evidence to prove that, I looked at her background to see if there might have been some other reasons that she was appointed. And it turns out there were a few. First of all, she's a graduate, she's a Pennsylvania alumni. She's a graduate of Penn State University. I can tell you, since I'm married to a Penn State graduate, they are in a class of people all by themselves. But after that, she went to the London School of Economics and got a degree there. Came to Washington for a while, dabbled in politics with the Democratic Policy Committee, then returned to Pennsylvania, where she was a senior executive in the equivalent of their General Services Administration, providing administrative support across the state government. She then returned to Washington, D.C., and in 2012 was appointed to senior positions at the General Services Administration, both doing the Office of Government-Wide Policy and the Chief Acquisition Officer. And then in 2014, she was appointed to her current position as Administrator of the Office of Federal Procurement Policy. So I think her background speaks for the qualifications that she brings to the table. But I can add a couple of things else I've learned about Ann Rung over the years. First of all, her commitment to transforming the acquisition process in a way that benefits everyone, the energy and the passion that she brings to her position, and a sense of humor, which is a tribute both to her and to the community in which we serve. It is truly my pleasure to introduce Ann Rung tonight.
Tall guy, short girl. So great news, I have 30 minutes and I'm only going to speak for 10 or 15. So no applause, no applause. So I'm so relieved. I thought I was going to be on a stage, literally on a stage tonight. I was kind of freaking out. I haven't been on a stage since second grade. I was cast in Paul Bunyan and Blue Babe, the Ox. Any of you know that? It's a fable. Yes, yes, yes. So they cast me as the back end of Babe. So I think that was a horrible miscasting for a lot of obvious reasons, which I won't go into. So I want to thank Ken Allen and Ted Davies, Jim Williams, all the great leaders and members of ACT IAC for inviting me here today to help honor and recognize excellence in government. And I'm really fortunate that this has been the week, or actually it's really been the month of ACT IAC for me. I was down at the Executive Leadership Conference in Williamsburg, and I was really inspired by the dialogue and all the great ideas, and I think a few of you were down there as well. And one of the most inspirational speeches was given by Navy Captain David Marquet. Did any of you hear that down there? Hopefully not a lot of you. He's an experienced Navy officer, and he's used to giving orders. And he was a newly appointed captain of the USS Santa Fe, which was a nuclear-powered submarine, and he was responsible for more than 100 sailors. And he told the story of how the Santa Fe went from the lowest ranking sub in terms of morale and performance to the highest ranking in the fleet by just challenging this traditional notion of the leader-follower approach. So he really had to struggle against his own instincts to take control, and he instead achieved the vastly more powerful model of giving control. And before long, each member of his crew became a leader and assumed responsibility for everything they did. And that inspired me because I feel like each one of you here today took control and became a very active and engaged leader. And this is the model that I think is really going to work in driving excellence in performance in acquisitions in IT, where our contracting officers and all you IT professionals are really making incredibly important decisions every day that affect the mission of your agencies. Yet I know our contracting officers, and I suspect the IT workforce too, feel like their agency leadership and colleagues view them as administrative paper pushers. That was literally the quote in a frontline forum meeting I had with our frontline contracting officers. And they don't feel like we are valued as true business partners in our agencies. So I think some of the survey data bears that point out. So the FY15 Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey, which we all read pretty closely, showed that only 37% of the federal IT workforce felt like that creativity and innovation are rewarded. And then another survey of contracting officers, they were asked, what barriers do you see in acquisitions? And I think a lot of us would think, regulations or the FAR would be the answer, but they responded overwhelmingly, lack of collaboration is the biggest barrier in acquisitions. So we really need to create this space and environment for people to express their thoughts and to share, to experiment, to shine, to succeed. And that's why I love this event, because we're really creating that space in part by highlighting and supporting the great work that you guys are doing. And I'm really awestruck by the people being highlighted today, many of whom I've had the pleasure of working with. So 18F, Census Bureau, Laura Stanton, Acquisition Gateway, shout out to all of you. And I know you do your work very quietly and with tremendous impact, but with very, very little fanfare and very little recognition, especially when things go well, right? There's no recognition for that. And so somebody will award a great contract, and what makes it great is you never hear about it again. And so we need to do a better job of really highlighting that. So today I thought in my remarks what I really want to do is highlight some great people beyond the great people being recognized today that I've had the pleasure of working with, and they're really driving really important projects for the White House around cyber and IT acquisitions in general. They're kind of all running these projects around some of the core principles, I think, of like effective, high-performing IT acquisitions. So there's 4 principles that I think should be behind all of our IT acquisitions, and one is we can't take years to deliver an IT acquisition anymore. So these individuals have really shown speed. We have to redefine an acquisition team, so it can no longer just be the 1102 on their own. So it has to be the lawyer, the program person, the IT professional, the CFO. And that's really how we need to define the acquisition team. We should buy things when possible that have already been built. No need to reinvent when you can buy commercial. And then finally, in IT acquisitions, I really think the user experience should drive our acquisition strategies. So there are these great teams of people around government doing really good work using these principles, and I just want to take a few minutes to kind of give a shout out to these people. I think you know a lot of these folks. So Tiffany Hickson with GSA and Rear Admiral Ali Kutsia that could kick some ass over at DOD, if any of you have met her, and Leandra English and Nina Ferraro with OPM, and Leslie Field from my office worked with great speed and purpose in response to the recent cyber incident at OPM, impacting 21.5 million people. So they put a contract in place in lightning speed, and it was this great collaborative process with all the agencies coming together. And the award came in the form of a task order under a new blanket purchase agreement, and also the same day that GSA announced their BPA. So the process that led to that was fairly remarkable, and DoD ran a cross-agency, cross-functional team of experts putting in place requirements in 3 days for this massive government-wide contract. And, you know, many others in DoD and throughout government assisted with this effort, but really that core team of women drove that from beginning to end, and it was all women. The next team I want to highlight is moving forward on one of the signature initiatives I described at last year's ACT IAC Excellence Conference, and Joni Newhart in my office, who's head of the workforce training at OFPP, and Tracy Walker, who's a contracting officer with Office of the CIO's U.S. Digital Services, are shepherding the creation of the government's first certified team of digital IT acquisition specialists. And our two organizations have started a digital services contracting professional training program. And the idea is we're going to chart sort of a new path towards more specialized training. So we kicked off our first class a few weeks ago, and it was 30 contracting professionals, almost all with some IT contracting experience. And the main topic of the training is how to contract for agile IT. And in addition to traditional classroom material, the course has a portal with simulations, games, readings, visual and audio media, role-playing, and virtual forums and discussion board. And the new training itself is going to mimic the principles of agile software design. So in traditional training, the curriculum is all developed in advance and before the first class and then rolled out in the course of the training. But for this effort, the later modules have not even been developed yet. So they'll be developed on the fly based on what's happened in the course earlier on. And then the procurement method they used was through challenge.gov. So it wasn't a very conventional procurement, so they had a fixed prize for the winner, but they kind of left it very open-ended for industry to come up with ideas, and they narrowed it down to 3, gave them each a small amount of money and had them develop a prototype, and they actually had them come in and demo and actually run a classroom. So we want to continue to move forward with this model of creating more specialized teams, particularly in the IT space, really to help CEOs earn what I call like a master's degree beyond your BA. And this, I think, will help people stay motivated and inspired by their work, and they'll work hand in hand with GSA's 18F team and the U.S. Digital Services and others. Last March, I also talked about improving efficiency through category management with an early and strong focus on improving how we buy and manage IT acquisitions. And I talked about moving to a single software license in certain areas. And I do want to recognize Dave DeVries, the Deputy CIO at DoD, and Mary Davies with GSA, who've done just some tremendous work in leading a cross-agency, again, cross-functional team. Kay Ely at GSA has been tremendous, and I'm really pleased to announce that by the end of this year, we hope to be making at least 2 awards of government-wide software solutions. And then second, the U.S. CIO, Tony Scott, and I will be issuing for public comment another major policy and category management following up on workstations around software. And then eventually one on mobile devices. I think I saw Dave Peters out here, who's done great work. So I think the importance here is that these policies that are being developed are really coming from the bottom up, recommended by this cross-agency team of really outstanding people. And then finally, just to wrap up, I want to highlight a team of rising stars within the IT and acquisition community who participated in the first annual IT Solutions Challenge, and this was the brainchild of our Deputy CIO, Lisa Schlosser, and with great work from Craig Jennings of the CIO Council. And it was really tapping into the hands-on experience of our frontline IT and acquisition workforce. And you know, they have a viewpoint that none of us have about some of the challenges and problems out there. So I saw a good thing and immediately decided I'm going to partner up with you guys. So it was originally going to be driven by the CIO Council. We made it a CAO and CIO Council initiative, and we really targeted people in the GS9 through GS13 range. And these teams came together, they identified problems, they brainstormed, they interviewed stakeholders around government, and they did this great presentation over in the old executive office building that felt like it was supposed to mimic Shark Tank. And I was one of the judges, and they came and presented, and they were so incredibly good. And I do want to just highlight two teams that were selected the winner. There was a popular winner and then a technical winner, although they were all winners in my book. But the central theme to all of the problems they identified were lack of collaboration and sharing, and they were trying to figure out how to overcome that. So Jason Golden at DOJ, Jessica Ellard at HUD, Jibran Mills from ED, Jake Moser, GSA, Lori Alfred from NASA, and Maggie Amato from HHS identified their problem as a common environment is currently unavailable to all federal agencies for the purpose of testing and customizing and sharing technology solutions. So their solution was the creation of a flexible cloud-hosted test environment as a shared service where government IT experts can collaborate and share lessons learned and leverage other expertise. And then another team identified the challenge that the federal government is not evolving rapidly enough with an increasingly technology-oriented culture to support a collaborative environment. So Joshua Brightwell at DOT and Jeremy Greenland, DOJ, and Daniel Hicks, GSA, Vinit Kumar, NASA, Kim McCarthy, GSA, Bryn McGowan, DOE, Shelton Roberts, GSA, and Trevor Wagner, DHS, came up with this great solution that was the creation of a communications platform they called FedIt, which would be a professional social network for federal IT and acquisition professionals that fosters real-time collaboration across the agencies. So we're working with all the winning teams to implement a lot of these ideas. And there was one team that had some idea around how to promote the acquisition gateway, so we've linked them to the GSA acquisition gateway folks. So let me just say, in conclusion, it takes courage to be the first person out there to innovate, especially in this space, and to experiment and create, and that's what makes you and the other people I've talked about active and engaged leaders. And you're willing to break down the silos to share, collaborate, and innovate. So I feel like my job is to make the world aware of your great work, working with ACT IAC. We're going to inspire at least one other follower, and then several more followers, and then eventually the work that you've done has become the spark that will ignite an innovation revolution in government. So thank you very much, and have a great, great awards ceremony. I'm really proud of all of you. Thank you.
And thank you very much for those comments and for the information about what's coming next in the government-wide contracts. That's pretty cool stuff for a lot of the people in this room. It is my pleasure to introduce our musical performer for this evening. He has performed with some of the leading jazz and gospel artists all across the country and around the world. He performs regularly for charitable organizations, and he has what I think you will find is a very refreshing and unique style. It is my pleasure to present to you this evening violinist Eric Taylor.
So honored to be here tonight to celebrate with you, to all of the honorees and those that will be receiving awards. And this is going to be good. It's going to be okay. All right. for my final selection, I want to do the Star Spangled Banner, and I want to thank Miss Marietta Allen for having me here on tonight.
That's Eric Taylor, everybody. He was terrific, and I just, if this is inside baseball, if this is like the magician giving away the card tricks, you don't have to answer. Okay. But a long time ago in my radio career, I worked in country radio. So I've seen a lot of people play violins and fiddles over the years. I've never seen anybody do the thing where you just don't have any hands. So how do you do that? That's unbelievable. Here, I mean, don't give away a secret if it's a secret, but that's amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, no, it's no real secret. It's just after you've done it so long, you just develop those strength muscles in your neck, and you can just hold it. But I think the key thing is that what I do does not come from any form of formal training, but it's just a gift that has come to me from, I call it God. And so everything that I do is from heart and from what I feel inside. And so I hope that you enjoyed it on tonight.
That was spectacular. Spectacular. Thank you very much. Eric Taylor. Wow. That's excellence, and that's why we're here tonight, is to recognize excellence. In our case, in government, we have 30 finalists to recognize tonight. Each of the 5 categories will have a winner, and then there is a best of the best that we'll announce at the end. The first award announced by the team from Accenture.
Well, thanks, Francis. So, I'm Jake Brody. On behalf of Accenture Federal Services, I'm delighted to be here to present the finalists for Excellence in Customer Experience and Digital Services Award. These finalists have demonstrated exemplary performance in directly providing services to citizens, especially through digital channels. The finalists are the San Francisco Business Portal, City and County of San Francisco, Federal Risk Authorization and Management Program, FedRAMP, the General Services Administration, the IRS Direct Pay from the Internal Revenue Service, Texas.gov from the Texas Department of Information Resources, Digital Transformation from the U.S. Census Bureau, and the Patents End-to-End Project from the Patent and Trademark Office. And the winner is, I get to tear this open, the San Francisco Business Portal, City and County of San Francisco. They didn't make it out. We'll send it out to them.
The next award is the Excellence in Intergovernmental Collaboration, and the team from AT&T is here to introduce that award.
Hi, I'm Barb Perlowski, and I'm delighted to be here on behalf of AT&T to present the next award. The Excellence in Intergovernmental Collaboration Award recognizes collaboration between branches of government, between agencies, and different levels within the government. The finalists are Federal Virtual Training Environment, Department of Homeland Security, Office of Cybersecurity and Communications. 18F, General Services Administration. Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, Global Information Technology Forum, Internal Revenue Service. Next Generation Identification, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Government-wide strategic solutions for desktop and laptops, General Services Administration, NASA, Health and Human Services, and National Institute of Health. Rapid Renewal, Maine's online vehicle registration renewal system, Census Bureau. And finally, Fiscal Note Agency Responses, Utah.gov. And the winner is, so excited, Next Generation Identification, FBI. Oh, good. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
The next category is Excellence in Enterprise Efficiencies, and my friend Deirdre Murray from CenturyLink is here to present it.
Thank you, Francis. All right. And thanks to Team CenturyLink. The Excellence in Enterprise Efficiencies Award finalists show how hard government works to do the right thing about saving money and about being good stewards of the public trust. The finalists are Research Enterprise Solution, Department of Energy, Oak Ridge National Lab. Integrated Enterprise Portal, IRS. NWAVE, part of NOAA. Enterprise Computer Storage Modernization Program, SSA. Extending the useful life of the National Irrigation Information Management System, Department of the Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs. One USDA, Department of Agriculture. And Electronic Data Exchange and Evaluation System, EPA. And the winner is, woo, okay. And the winner is Integrated Enterprise Portal, IEP, IRS.
Next is the category for Excellence in Analytics and Big Data, and to present that, Hewlett-Packard Enterprises.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Smoter. I work for the new Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, 1 week old. Also, I want you to know that 3 years ago, I was sitting where you are, and it's a real privilege to be here today. Congratulations to the IRS team, my former group. And I'm happy to be able to announce the finalists for Excellence in Analytics and the Big Data Award. And these projects have to have demonstrated a meaningful and mission-impacting use of large, complex data sets to solve difficult problems. The finalists are the Digital Analytics Program from GSA. I hope they're in the same order. Okay, Acquisition Gateway from GSA. Checkbook NYC from the Office of the New York City Controller, Community for Data Integration, Department of Interior, U.S. Geological Survey, and Assignment Search from the Patent and Trademark Office. And the winner is, I always wanted to say that, and it's not as easy as it looks. The Community for Data Integration, Department of Interior, U.S. Geological Survey. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're really excited about that.
Thank you very much.
Our next award is for Excellence in Workforce and Mobility, and the finalists in this category need to have demonstrated innovative approaches to workforce management or utilization of mobile technologies to enhance the achievements of their respective missions. The finalists are the virtual desktop infrastructure at the Department of Treasury's Alcohol, Tobacco, Tax, and Trade Bureau, the pre-employment screening program at the Department of Transportation, the Enterprise Mobility Program at the General Services Administration, the Enterprise Electronic Facsimile at the Internal Revenue Service, and the Disaster Management eGov initiative at the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And the winner is Matt Damon for the Martian. Oh, no, wait a minute. Sorry. I had it upside down. The Enterprise Electronic Facsimile at the IRS. Congratulations. And it is my pleasure now to turn the mic over to my friend Ted Davies, who will award the best of the best tonight.
Well, I feel like I got the Best Picture award coming up here. A lot of great nominees across the evening, a lot of great award winners. Let's do one more round of applause for everybody tonight. Okay, the ACT IAC proudly awards the finalists that demonstrated the exemplary performance over and beyond the proposed criteria. And for those of you that don't know, the criteria included efficiency and mission, performance cost savings, alignment to objectives and performance metrics, multiple stakeholder collaboration, enhancing the stakeholder experience and effectiveness, and the span of influence and the size of impact. So the overall Excellence.gov Award for overall excellence goes to, I know the suspense is building, the Research Enterprise Solution, Department of Energy, Oak Ridge National Laboratory. I'm going to turn the mic out over for closing remarks to our moderator. And again, I want to thank Francis for taking this role on this evening. Thanks, Francis.
It's a pleasure to come out. As I said at the beginning, and Ted mentioned earlier, a lot of the work that gets done in the media about the federal government focuses on the bad stuff that happens. And so it's terrific to recognize the great programs that we've heard tonight. Both the finalists and the winners, a while back on award shows, they stopped saying the winner is because it implied that the others weren't. And I think it's fair to say that all of these programs and a lot of others that didn't get recognized in government tonight are winners. I've had the good fortune over the last 9 years, longer than that, I guess, to have a front row seat to a lot of the good things that go on in this country, in this government, on behalf of the taxpayers. So thanks to all of you who are doing excellent work, recognized or not tonight, in the federal government. Thank you for your attention tonight and for attending. It's been a wonderful award ceremony. We're wrapping now, and we invite all of the finalists to join us downstairs to receive your recognition. There is something for everybody who was recognized tonight, not just the, I have to use the term winners because it's what's on the paper. But we have something for all of you. There will be a photograph of everyone who's been recognized this evening, so we would like all of you to join us downstairs. Thank you again for coming very much.